So I have to be honest, when Claude dropped skills first, I kind of ignored them. I thought they were just another type of fancy prompt and just more marketing hype. But after experimenting with them for a couple of weeks, something changed and they really clicked with me. And now I think they're probably one of the biggest things we're going to see in 2026. There, I said it. And I'm not the only one who thinks this is a big deal. Just over the weekend there, Vercel, the creators of Next.js and the AI SDK, launched their own skill management tool. I've seen a number of them pop up over the last couple of weeks. Claude have their own version, and Cursor, the AI coding tool, has just integrated skill support as well. If you're new here, I'm Rob. I've been a software developer and product manager for over 20 years, and I teach entrepreneurs and developers how to build with AI via all my videos here on this channel and through the Build with AI community at switchdimension.com. Okay, so here's why I really love skills. Let's just start with the example of rigid code. So let's say I want to extract information from a PDF. In the past, I might have an extract.py file or something like that, where I would follow a set of steps using set libraries in an exact fashion to extract the content from that PDF. But the problem is, if it encountered something slightly different, like a video within the file, this wasn't going to work. In that case, we would use a large language model. So with a large language model, it's very fluid. Basically, it has access to write whatever kind of code it wants. So I ask it to extract the content from a PDF. However, this is going to take a little bit of time because it has to figure out what libraries to use, install those libraries. Maybe there's errors, maybe there's issues, security problems, etc. And there can often be errors in the extraction. And you can imagine there's thousands of people every couple of minutes in the world who are trying to do the same thing. So that's when we have the idea of skills, really. It's the best of both worlds. It gives you the fluidity of an LLM with the best practice of code examples and references. This is exactly the same as giving your staff a standard operating procedure, but then, 1 in 10 cases is an edge case, and that staff member uses their own autonomy to figure it out and solve the problem. So with this idea of skills, we have the best of both worlds. So I go and create a skill that's useful to myself and to the rest of the team, and I can basically go and save that to a central repository. And the cool thing is all these other agents can take advantage of those skills once they're up there, and I can pull those skills back as well as I need them. So I know what you're thinking. Do skills replace MCPs? Well, yes and no. So I guess the pain with MCPs is historically they took up a ton of your context. And for this reason, loads of people were switching off their MCPs. Skills take up a whole lot less, so they are preferable in many cases. But there still are different use cases for either of these. So you can kind of think as MCPs as the USB-C for AI. Maybe I want to access Google Drive or an image generation service or any one of these other third-party services that are out there. What skills are fantastic at as these lightweight folders, anybody can create a skill even if you're non-technical. In terms of tokens, they're progressively loaded, so the agent is only seeing what it needs at any given time. So technically, they're a lot more token efficient. Much more modular and more flexible, let's say, than an MCP would be. I don't think it's the death of MCP by any means, but I can certainly see how skills will gain a lot of traction quickly. So a quick shout out to Testsprite for sponsoring this video, and essentially it gives you great peace of mind for your projects. It'll actually run tests, help you fix and actually validate your software, which is really powerful. So let's click on this button here, try MCP for free. So you can actually run all your tests directly from the dashboard, or you can go and use the MCP and just do quick install. So we've got this super handy button here, just to add it directly to Cursor. It's installing my MCP here, and I've just put in my API key. My agent window, I'm just going to paste that prompt in. Help me test this project with Testsprite. So the Testsprite MCP basically steps through the entire process of setting up the tests, even looking and reviewing your PRDs. It goes ahead and writes a whole lot of tests for your projects and then goes ahead and execute those tests. So you can see with just one MCP call, Testsprite's gone and created this folder here. It has a complete understanding of my project, a code summary, even a PRD document, and then it's generated all these tests and a test plan. So if you go ahead and click deploy tests here, you can see all the different tests listed. We could take a look at a failed test. You can see here it tested for email format validation and it actually failed, and it showed that process happening. So that's really cool. And when we're finished back here in Cursor, we get a full test report as well. So I highly recommend Testsprite for that production peace of mind, and you can check them out via the link in the description. If you want to get started right away and check this out, Vercel just launched their own tool to help you manage and install skills. It works in Claude, Conductor, Cursor, Windsurf, Anti-Gravity, whatever you want. So simply use this command, npx skills, You can go and add your own package or take advantage of existing skills that are out there. So let's say we want to try this one. We have the React best practices. So we select that with space, and then web design guidelines, select that with space. So then you just decide where you want to have them installed, turn them on and off. You can see that all the tools here keep it in very the same place, .windsurf/skills, anti-gravity/skills, except for open code, who just use /skill. Come on, guys. Why did you break the protocol here? So I'm going to go with them all for now and just hit return. Then you decide whether you want to install them at the project level or globally. So if you do it globally, it's in your user scope. It goes into your home directory where it's going to be accessible to every project that you use. If you just want it in the project specifically, you can select project. So I'm just going to do project in this case. Proceed with installation, yes. Now, if we go and look, but in there you can see that we have the best practices, we have the skill, the agents.md, and loads of different rules. We've got the skill.md file, which basically gives an overview of what this is and then breaks it all down. It gives the high level information. And then, of course, there are all these multiple rules that go within that. You might be thinking with a folder this big, this is going to kill my context if all of this gets loaded in for all my different skills. Well, what Claude and Cursor and other tools do is something called dynamic discovery. So essentially, they just know at the top level, using this front matter here, what a skill can do. They're aware of it and they're just ingesting this much information. If they feel like they need to use the skill, they can then go deeper into actually reading the document. Then they can go deeper again to look at the individual rules or reference material or even code snippets that you have in there. You can have bash scripts, anything that you want within these folders. It's really cool. Now you can see here in the chat dialog, if I just type / I now have access to these skills. So I can just decide to run that skill myself. You can actually use the skill creator skill to create your own skills without even necessarily knowing how to write them. How meta is that? But if you go to a site like Smithery and Skills, you'll see lots of the more popular ones listed there. And the agent is aware of it itself if it wants to run it. Now, relying on the agent to always pick up on the skill itself is not foolproof. So I much prefer to invoke these myself because the agents are kind of hit and miss whether they pick them up or not. Hopefully that'll improve in the near future. Now you can see in Claude Code, all I have to do is type in skills here as a / command, and we can list the available skills or run an existing skill that I've added in Vercel best practices. So if I just type / skills here, you can see I've got the web design guidelines and the Vercel best practices as well. So you can do practically anything you can think of with skills, and you're actually going to be building lots of these skills yourself. You can create them very easily. Also, we're checking out skills.mp.com. Anthropic has their own library of skills, and of course they have plugins which help you install MCPs, plugins and commands. AIT-MPL has a ton of Claude Code templates and skills. Here's one repo I really wanted to call out. It's called Open Skills by this guy called Ali. It's got about 6,000 stars, but essentially it is a skills manager. This is very the same as what Vercel has created with MPX Skills, but in fairness to Ali, he got there first and he has quite a good setup here. So instead of typing MPX Skills, it's MPX Open Skills, and essentially you can install directly from Anthropic. You can have your own organization skills, which would be in your own repository. So in my case, it's like switch dimension / skills. These would be all the skills I'd share across my community, my friends, and within my business. So I also think skills in the recently released Claude Cowork are definitely one to watch. So I mentioned even non-technical people can go and create these skills now. I can actually prompt this in the interface to get a skill created for me. It'll save locally, or I can share them. If you go to settings in Claude Desktop and go to capabilities, you'll see loads of different agentic skills that you can turn on and off. And here's one called the skill creator. There's a ton of example skills here, and you can even go and add your own. If you're used to creating lots of workflows for your company or for your clients using N8N, I do suggest you take a good look at skills and what they mean for 2026. I think there's a lot of scenarios where skills will remove the need to even know how to use N8N or create all those different types of workflows. So definitely worth paying attention to skills for that reason. Over the coming weeks, I'll list some of my favorite skills in my newsletter. You can sign up for that at switchdimension.com. Just drop in your email there and hit get newsletter. And most importantly, if you have any skills you absolutely love and you're using over and over, please let us know in the comments so everybody else can grow at the same time. Now, you've learned something cool, go and actually put it into practice. Stop watching YouTube, go and download a skill and give it a go. If you think this content is useful and you want to learn how to build with AI, check out my back catalog. Hit the subscribe and the notification button. It means you get more of this kind of content in your feed instead of those annoying cat videos. Unless you really like cats.